The Solicitors' Code of Conduct in its present form came into force on the 1st of July 2007, and it replaced the Solicitors' Practice Rules of 1990 with their associated principles and guidance as set out in the Guide to the Professional Conduct for Solicitors. Some familiar rules have been redrafted, and there are new rules relating to supervision and management relationships, obligations within a firm. So firstly, Rule 101, this makes regards to integrity and states that solicitors must act at all times with integrity to clients, the courts, legal professionals and all others. Then Rule 1.2 looks at independence of a solicitor and states that you must not let your independence falter from pressure from clients, the courts or any other source. These two rules, Rule 102 in relation to integrity and Rule 101 in relation to integrity and Rule 102 in relation to independence, can be seen to underpin everything one does as a solicitor, and are very important rules to have in mind during any work, whatever field you may be looking or working into. Rule 103, this looks at the best interests of a client and must state that you must always act in the best interests of clients as long as this does not cause a conflict with your professional obligations or the public interest in the administration of justice. So it shows that the best interest of clients is paramount. If you've got any concerns about whether this perhaps conflicts with the public interest in the administration of justice, then on this point and any other point, guidance can always be sought from the ethics helpline, which is provided by the Law Society, and I think is used very widely, and I think it's a good resource to have. So I think in relation to the Code of Conduct, if you've got any queries at any point, you can always contact them for advice or assistance to help you apply the rules, and I think that's a good point to note. Rule 104 looks at confidentiality and states that you must keep all information concerning clients confidential. This is dealt with more closely in Rule 4 and something I'll look at later. Rule 105 looks at conflict of interest, which states you must not act where there is a conflict of interest between either two clients or yourself and a client. There are certain exemptions to this, and I'll look at this later on because this is more explicitly looked at in Rule 3. Rule 106 looks at competence. You should only act in any matter in which you are competent. I think there can be pressure in these current times to try and take on more work, and for solicitors to try and be as broadly appealing to their employer to try and show their different skill sets which are available. I think while that's admirable, you can only should be acting in matters in which you are competent. I think acting with somebody else may really help in this regard. If you're not extremely competent on that area, acting with somebody else who is competent in that area might cover yourself in that regard. Rule 107 looks at fairness, and it states that you should treat all fairly in your professional dealings. This is further expanded in Rule 6. It can also be seen to be connected with Rule 10 and the duty not to take unfair advantage of others due to your position. Even if no reference is made to your position, you must still be careful that you don't act in contravention of Core Rule 1.10, not to bring the profession into disrepute. So I think you've got all these sort of interlink about fairness, not bringing the profession into disrepute, and not taking unfair advantage. So it's more, this Rule 1 can look at how a solicitor should conduct themselves in relation to not only their professional dealings but wider dealings as well.